What is up, my friend? Welcome to episode number 43 of the Anthony John Amick's podcast. And today is another Sunday sermon edition. And today I just want to talk about how to be happy and dive into a distinction that has really helped me uncover what seems to be the secrets to happiness and achievement. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Anthony John Amick's podcast, the one and only podcast designed to help you become unstoppable in life and business. My name is Anthony John Amick. My friends call me AJ. And my goal with this podcast is to help you remember who you truly are so you can maintain your center in the chaos, embody your potential, and unlock freedom in your life and business. That being said, let's get into today's show.
All right, well, welcome back. Before we hop into today's topic, I just want to invite you to join Shift 101. It's a free Facebook community designed to help entrepreneurs destroy their mental blocks, embody their greatest potential, and unlock riches in both their life and business. And you can request to join the community over at ajamix.com/community. It's 100% free, and every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I host a lunch and learn inside that community where my good friend Jonathan Hess and we dive deep to teach you marketing strategies, sales strategies, and just straight up personal growth strategies to help you experience more peace, power, and profit. So to join, simply go over to ajamix.com/community. It's 100% free. So with that being said, let's just talk about how to be happy. Now, I don't think a lot of people really know how to be happy. I know for me, I didn't know for a long time. See, most people, they believe that when they have X or Y or Z, then they will be happy. Or they believe when they become A, B, or C, then they will be happy. Now, I call this the success equation. Most people, when they buy into this equation, their full-on acceptance, their full-on security and worthiness is tied up to when they have A, B, or C, or when they become, A, B, or C. Now, the problem with the success equation is nobody ever arrives. Ever. Never, ever, ever. Nobody ever arrives. It's when people do have X, Y, or Z, or when they do become A, B, or C, they just simply move their targets for their full-on acceptance and security and worthiness just down the never-ending road. And they never arrive, ever. And this is why the success equation is completely faulty. As a result, they accomplish a lot of things, but they don't really ever experience happiness. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched that older Will Smith movie called The Pursuit of Happiness, but it's a great film if you haven't. And pretty much kind of distill the lesson from that movie for you. The lesson in that movie, it's really not about the pursuit of happiness. The lesson is learning that it's really about the happiness of the pursuit. Yet high achievers forget about this whole thing about the happiness of the pursuit someplace along their journey to creating freedom. And the thing is if we don't learn to simply drop the success equation and realize that we are worthy of full-on acceptance and security because we exist, well, then what happens is we'll achieve a bunch of things and we'll just won't ever really be happy. See, the number one reason why people don't choose to drop the success equation is really because of fear. They're afraid that if they don't have a success equation, then they would just be lazy and then they wouldn't do anything. And I'm here to tell you, that's garbage. That's just bullshit that your ego tells you to keep your current identity safe. And while that identity has served you up to this point, I want to invite you into a new possibility, one where you're worthy because you exist. And you don't have to prove or defend yourself to anyone or anything. And I truly believe that God, Spirit, Universe, whatever name you want to call that, is waiting for all of us to understand this realization and come to this conclusion. And the faster that we do is the faster that we find this place of happiness and actually create more results with less effort. Now, if you listen to my last Sunday sermon, episode 41, then you may remember me talking about how I've been running recently. And at the time of this recording, I'm 6 weeks in, and I'm running about 2 miles 3 times a week, so nothing crazy. And I'm just kind of on this journey to get up to running a 5K 3 times a week. Now, the old me would have embarked on this journey feeling like I had something to prove or something to defend or doing it to get something out of it, like something like notoriety or losing weight or toning up my muscles or whatever. Like I would have come up with a reason to do the thing. Yet this time I chose to run because I choose it. Like there's no deeper meaning to this running journey that I have. It's just a commitment to completing this app called the Couch to 5K. And once I do, like once I complete it, maybe I'll commit to moving from the 5K to the 10K. Like I don't know yet. I'm not attached. I'm just kind of enjoying the process. All I know right now is I'm 100% committed to completing this whole Couch to 5K app over the next 8-week period. Like I got like 2 more weeks after this week. And when I run, I'm just running simply for the sake of running. Like I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to defend to myself or anybody else. I'm not doing it to lose weight, even though that has been a natural byproduct. I'm not doing it to tone up, even though that's happening naturally. Instead, I'm just doing it to do it. And it's really got me thinking how oftentimes as entrepreneurs or as humans in today's age, like we go on a journey to accomplish something. And when we do, we get on social media and we see the images or the videos or the post about other people's journeys, and we start to compare our journey with their journey. And before we know it, we're not creating something for the sake of creating something. Instead, we're creating something to prove something to someone or to ourselves. And as we're on this journey up the mountain of our so-called success, we start judging where we are in relation to those around us or for those that we see on social media. And when we do this, it robs us of our happiness. See, one of the secrets to happiness and achievement is simply doing the thing for its own sake. Like you choose to do it because you choose to do it. And you choose to honor your own journey. Like, not honoring your journey as in relation to others. No, that's not what I'm saying. You honor your journey in relation to your journey. Like, that's it. Not in relation to other people's. Now, does this mean that you can't learn from other people? No. Does this mean that you can't invest into yourself to acquire skill sets or mindsets or body sets to get to the top of your mountain faster? No. It just means you honor your journey for what it is, which is your journey. And you realize that your worth as a human being is not tied to you reaching the top of the mountain. Instead, you just enjoy your journey up to the top of your self-created mountaintop. Like, I think this is what Will Smith was attempting to teach us in his movie called The Pursuit of Happiness. And the big part of learning how to be happy really is simply choosing to be happy and knowing you are doing your very best to pursue the things you feel called to pursue. Now, maybe you're listening to this and thinking, no, AJ, I'm not doing enough, and I'm not as far along as I should be by now. Like, you don't understand. And if that's you, I will say it doesn't matter. Like, whatever has happened up to this moment, it has happened. And all we have is, like, this moment and the next moment and the next moment, and on it goes until, like, we die. So why not align with the truth? And in that truth, if we don't like the mountain that we're on right now, that's cool. Like, let's get clear on what mountain that we want to go hike up, and then let's go to work hiking up that mountain one step at a time and enjoy each step along the way. In Matthew 18, scripture says, "At that time the disciples came to Jesus and asked, 'Who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?' And in verse 2, Jesus called a little child to him and placed the child among them. And he said, 'Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven.'" Now, I love this piece of scripture because it's packed with so much truth. Now, my daughter, she's nearly 18 months old now. She started walking at like 9 months old, and kids are great to watch, like, as they learn things. And watching my daughter explore the world and learn things about it has really helped, like, bring what I believe Jesus was trying to say in this bit of text to life for me. Like, when my daughter was learning to walk, she went from having to lie on her back, like not even knowing how to roll over, to then learning to roll over, and then learning how to crawl, to like learning how to stand and like how to squat, and eventually learning how to walk. And now she's like this little quail. She's like so fast, so nimble, and so quick. So we could say that one of her mountaintops was, quote unquote, learning to walk, right? And the thing about witnessing her journey is she's never complained once along the way to reaching her quote unquote success, which we're going to call just walking at this moment, right? Like her worthiness as a human, her worthiness as a woman is not tied to being able to walk or not being able to walk. Her worthiness was and is innately born into her. Like walking has just been this natural progression of her trying things and making adjustments and trying things and making adjustments. And before we know it, like boom, she's walking. And she is walking simply for the sake of walking, not to prove anything, not to defend anything, not to get something. She's simply walking for the sake of walking. So when Jesus says in Matthew 18, verse 3, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. What I think he's saying is get out of your heads and be like that of little children. Like stop judging where you're at. Stop comparing where you're at, because children don't do this. Like my daughter Zyra, she isn't making fun of her cousin who's 5 months younger than her and she's not walking yet, right? She's not like looking at Allie and being like, why aren't you walking? You loser. Like she's not. And my niece, she's not looking at Zyra and thinking or feeling like, oh my gosh, Zyra's walking and I'm not. I'm just crawling. Oh my gosh, I'm a terrible human. Like I'm not walking yet. Oh, poor me. Like that way of thinking, that way of being, it doesn't exist in children, for their egos haven't fully developed yet, and the culture and the environment has it settled into their way of thinking and influenced their way of being at this point in time. So if we really want to enter the kingdom of heaven, meaning experiencing happiness moment by moment, creating and embodying fulfilling results, then we must become like little children. Like we must stop judging ourselves for where we're at or where we're not at. And if we can get this, then we can truly experience peace and purpose and profits along our journey. And we can embody the idea of the happiness of the pursuit. So my invitation for you today is this. Where in your life are you getting too caught up in your own mind about how you should be further along than you are right now? And where in your life is it time to start embracing the nature of being like a little child and honoring and respecting your own journey? And as a result, how much more peace and happiness and achievement would be possible for you if you allowed yourself to honor your journey for what it is, your journey. I know if you take my advice from this episode and you start doing things for their own sake, you'll be happier and achieve more things with less struggle and striving, and you'll experience more freedom, which is why you set out to accomplish the things that you set out to accomplish in the first place. So my friend, this is going to do it for this episode of the Anthony John Amyx podcast. If you're not following me over on Facebook, go ahead and go over to facebook.com/AJAmyx. Connect with me over there. Every single week, I'm creating new content over there to help you experience more peace, power, and profits. I'd love to hear from you over there on Facebook. If we're not connected, just head on to facebook.com/AJAmyx and shoot me a friend request. Start up a conversation. I just always love getting to know people, especially those people who listen to this podcast. So thank you so much for being here. Until next time, my friend, I'm out. Peace.
Well, that's all I've got for this episode of the Anthony John Amyx podcast, but we have plenty more to help you become unstoppable in life and business. So head on over to ajamyx.com for exclusive resources, information, and tools to help you break through to a new level of freedom, purpose, and success. I look forward to having you back for the next episode. Bye for now.